Gavin Newsom is in Texas right now, and we need to talk about why. But it won't really make sense until we first get into something else, because you know how much I like to cross-pollinate the sciences of biology and psychology with political science. So first, I'm guessing if you're like me, you believe in science. And like me, when you hear the phrase the placebo effect, first words that come to your mind are words like fake, imaginative, or illusion. After all, a placebo effect is not real, right? Not right. The placebo effect is incredibly real, and while it doesn't cure diseases, in a typical controlled study, it is normal for up to 40% of people who got the placebo to experience measurable positive outcomes. Like I said, a placebo is not a cure, but when it comes to mental health, things like pain management, autoimmune triggers, stress, and anxiety, the placebo effect is both profound and real. It proves the incredible power our mind has over our physiology. But weirdly, that effect disappears when people find out they got the placebo, which is an absolute tragedy, because if we could only understand how much we could help ourselves without help from anyone else, we could harness it on demand. This is why I'm an optimist. I am more effective in my choices and my actions when I believe semi-outlandish outcomes are within reach. So now, back to Gavin Newsom, because after his resounding victory over Proposition 50, he went straight to Houston. And he's not there to raise money or just have a good time, though he'll probably do both. To understand why he's in Houston, you have to understand the outcomes that are on the table over the next 3 years. Gavin Newsom is the governor of 15 million Hispanic Americans. California has more Hispanic Americans than any other state in the country. And right after California is Texas with 11 million. Florida comes in third, Arizona comes in sixth, North Carolina and Georgia are 9th and 10th. In fact, there are 21 million Hispanic Americans across those 5 states that went for Trump last year. And Governor Newsom just saw Proposition 50 pass with 71% of the Hispanic vote, which beat out support from non-Hispanic voters by 7 points. Now Newsom is in Texas, where they just gerrymandered 5 new seats, and 4 of them are Hispanic majority districts that they drew because they believed that the Hispanic vote that shifted to Trump in 2024 would stay with the Republicans in 26 and 28. Then beyond that, they spread the Republican vote in every other district just a little bit thinner. And we knew this when they drew the districts, but what we didn't know was that Hispanic voters in Virginia and New Jersey this week shifted as much as 22 points to the left in only 1 year. And Trump's approval rating among Hispanic Americans nationwide is now 27%. So here's where I ask you, don't wait for someone to prove it to you. Find it in yourself to believe there's a scenario here where Republicans don't just lose a bunch of the new districts they drew in Texas, but they lose a bunch of the other ones too because they spread themselves too thin. There's a scenario where John Cornyn loses his safe Senate seat to somebody like Jasmine Crockett or James Tallarico. And there's a scenario where in 2028, Gavin Newsom, the governor elected by more Hispanic Americans than any other governor in the nation, runs and wins in states not just like New Jersey and Virginia and Georgia, but states like North Carolina, Florida, and yes, Texas. But understand, if this is going to happen, it won't just happen to us. These scenarios will only be possible because of us. The actions that will be required to achieve those semi-outlandish outcomes will only be effective if you believe in us.